Welcome back, everyone. My name is Steven. I'm your true champion, and today we just finished going X in 1 in the Gaia Force Gaming Monday Win-A-Mat Locals. I believe we got top 3, which is what we need to earn a playmat, and we did it with Machinedramon. Now, if anyone was a fan of Machinedramon back in EX1, the deck has changed quite a lot. The inclusion of the brand new Chaosdramon from set 7 adds a lot of removal to the deck and a nice alternate level 6, but with certain other cards that we have access to as of right now in set 7, we have built a Mega Zoo variant of Machinedramon. Huge shout out to some California locals here, namely Mikado and Lychee King, as I believe Mikado uses this deck non-stop at his locals. Lychee told me about it and sent me his list, and that got me inspired to play it myself. This is my take on Machinedramon Mega Zoo. It's slightly different, but overall, the archetype is really cool, and if you have the cards to build it, give it a try, because now that the, hardcore competitiveness of Digimon Card Game Fest has ended, I like experimenting with some new archetypes, and honestly, as long as you don't fight against Blue Hybrid, this deck feels unbeatable right now, as long as you can draw your pieces. So let's go through the deck list and talk about how it actually works. But before we do that, don't forget to, if you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe. And if you ever want to watch me use wacky decks like this live and in person, be sure to follow me over on Twitch, like all of these beautiful people have. And who knows, you might just see the next crazy deck list I have live and in person. Now, the deck is a hybrid deck of blue, red, and black, but we're going to start with the main Machinedramon package before we get into the goodness that is the blue package. So, first things first, it's a Machinedramon deck from EX1. We have 4 copies of Machinedramon. Now, if you've never seen this card before, he is the secret rare from EX1 Classic Collection, and he has a bunch of effects. The main one, though, that we utilize in this deck is on play, you may place up to 5 red and or black cards with Cyborg in their traits and different card numbers from your hand and or trash in this Digimon's Digivolution cards and gain 1 memory for each one you play. So basically, as long as you have 2 memory, you can play this guy, put 5 different ultimate cyborgs underneath him, and then pass your opponent with 5 memory, effectively making him a 7 cost level 6. Now, what's cool from there is he has 2 other effects. The first one is all turns, this Digimon's DP cannot be reduced. Yellow Hybrid, ha ha ha, laugh in their face. And then the second effect is all turns, when this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash 2 level 5 Digimon cards in this Digimon's Digivolution sources to prevent this Digimon from being deleted. Very important verbiage right there, prevent. So basically, if he's rested and he has 2 cyborg sources and your opponent punches him, you can just trash these 2 sources and protect him. That plays around piercing, that plays around when things kill things by attack, like Ancient Beetlemon, for example. Super useful, really awesome effect. Basically allows him to linger in play and maybe add more cards to your trash so you can play the next one down. And the whole idea of this deck is just to draw and or trash a bunch of different level 5 cyborgs, red or black, and get as many of these in play as possible. And through the use of our blue package, do it much easier than just having a bunch of Machinedramons in hand. And again, we'll talk about how that actually works once we get to the blue package, but the next card we're going to talk about is the brand new piece of support from set 7, 4 copies of Chaosdramon. Now, honestly, in the tournament today, this deck felt more like a Chaosdramon beatdown deck than it did a Machinedramon deck, because this guy's just an absolute house right now against hybrid decks. He has one neat thing. He has like a way to reduce his Digivolution cost to 1, and he's able to evolve on Machinedramon. So even if he's a level 6 Digimon, you can actually evolve this on top of Machinedramon for 1, and that enables a really cool play with Kaiser Nail, to where we can play Kaiser Nail, bring out Machinedramon, and then use Machinedramon's on play effect to play a bunch of level 5 cyborgs and then gain memory after that. So you can do not only a super cheap Kaiser Nail, but you can do it while playing a giant Machinedramon. But the real purpose of this card isn't even to enable that mechanic. Believe it or not, like D-Brigade decks or decks that gain memory by playing big boss monsters, memory blockers like Motokai Betamon or Gazimon are super annoying. But Chaosdramon happens to have a really cool when Digivolving effect. You may place 1 red or black level 5 card with Cyborg in its traits from your hand or trash at the top of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. So if it was like this, you'd put it right there. And then for each cyborg level 5 you have that's red or black in this guy's sources, you can kill a Digimon that has 6,000 DP or less on your opponent's board. If you do have a full 5 stack of Machinedramon, then evolve into Chaos, you can kill 6 things. And I have board wiped people like green and red decks countless times. And honestly, guys, because that win Digivolving works whenever you evolve in general, there were a lot of games where I just had a level 5 in play, evolved straight into this, put a level 5 on top, and killed like multiple things. And I would give him really cool inheritables like blocker plus security attack, reboot, and I would just like house with him for a while I was trying to set up for a bigger Machinedramon play later on in the game. So even though this is a Machinedramon deck, it actually has a lot of options to it given how it's built with sort of the Mega Zoo mentality, playing a lot of hard drops and then trying to gain value off of those hard drops. So that's it for the level 6s. We'll talk a little bit about sort of the main combos of the deck right now as we get into the level 7s, because we do play a lot. We have 3 copies of Zwart Defeat, 2 copies of Omnimon X Antibody, and 1 copy of Omnimon Alter S. So the reason why we play a lot of 7s is because alongside our copies of Chaosdramon, we effectively have 10 ways to evolve on top of Machinedramon and get him into our sources, which will then enable us to go into Kaisernail, bring out said Machinedramon, and then go from there. Obviously, Antibody can't evolve straight onto him, but you can go like this and then go like this, or you can go like this, then go like this, then play Kaisernail, bring this out, then you have an Antibody plus a Machinedra. Kind of hilarious. Happens a lot more than you might think in this deck, given how it plays. Having level 7s in combination with the Kaisernail just makes Machinedramon really broken and spammable, and these are like the best level 7s that the red/black color has access to. Obviously, we're playing in a hybrid meta, so killing Tamers is really good. Checking this in security while having an X Antibody in your hand, also disgusting. And I do have 1 copy of Alter S here, being able to sort of be a second board wipe, but also be a way to like clear off pesky things that have on deletion effects like Cherubimon. You can like de-digivolve them and then kill everything else and actually just get rid of that Cherubi without actually proccing its Pinata effect. Really cool. This being unblockable, by the way, does sometimes come up. I used it against a green player just to swing at them for a game, and he was unblockable, so that was pretty cool. But I think the MVP level 7 has got to be X Antibody. No one knows what this card does, and he's so stupid. You can have like 8 sources under this sometimes, and it's just unfair being able to negate 4 attacks. But honestly, being able just to attack and delete anything you want is kind of crazy, because we have cards in this deck that let us gain memory whenever we delete our opponent's Digimon. And so you can like swing 15, kill something, gain a memory, then do something else afterwards. It's kind of a funny card. Really good against the other aggro decks like red and green. Super powerful card. And yeah, that's it for the level 6s and 7s, the main sort of like aggro pieces of the deck. Let's talk about now the main engine of the deck, our level 5 red and black cyborgs. We have a lot of these cards, so we'll go through them one at a time here. We have 2 copies of Metal Tyrannomon, 2 copies of Andromon, both from EX1, 2 copies of starter deck Megadramon for black, 2 copies of BT6 Gigadramon, 1 copy of Metal Mamamon from EX1, 1 copy of Volcanomon from set 6, 2 copies of the brand new Metal Greymon from set 7, 1 Metal Greymon from EX1, 1 Megadramon from EX1, and 1 Megadramon from BT6. So, besides being a bunch of different level 5s that all have the cyborg trait, red and black, with different card numbers, these all give really awesome and unique inheritables to our Machinedra/Chaos/Omnimons. First things first, we have Metal Tyrannomon, Andromon, and Metal Mamamon alongside Megadramon and Metal Greymon. These cards all came out in EX1, and they only work on Digimon with the machine trait. So these will not apply to your Omnimons, but they will apply to your Chaosdramons and Machinedramons. And their effects are Reboot, Blocker during your opponent's turn, on attack, kill a 5 cost or less, broken against like more rush type decks, gives Piercing, and gives plus security attack. All of the other level 5s we play work on anything. So if they're underneath an Omnimon or not machine, they'll still work. That is Blocker, both turns, plus 2,000 DP during your opponent's turn. When one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. This combos hilariously with Chaosdramon, because you can literally go evolve for 1, put this on top, kill something, and then it's a free evolution. And then you can go freaking Kaiser Nail, play Machinedra, put at least 4 dudes underneath, gain 4 memory, still be at 0 with a Chaos and a Machinedra. It's kind of hilarious, actually. The combos this card enables. And then gain 2 DP during your turn. That's our sort of slew of different types of level 5s. Not only are these our main ways of comboing with Machinedramon and Chaosdramon, they're also our advantage engine, and we'll talk about how that makes sense right now. By the way, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, how can a deck with, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 15 level 5s actually function? Believe it or not, just hard playing them and then going straight into a Machinedra or a Chaosdramon is really good, or having cards like Guardramon and Haguramon and Ultimate Connection that let you discard these cards, throw them away into the trash, and cycle through your deck is a really nice way to go into your combo pieces. If I could change one thing about this deck, it would be to include more copies of Guardramon. Originally, I thought that because we weren't playing Black Eggs, there was no need to actually like hard evolve up the chain. It was always better either to hard play Machinedras or just hard play level 5s. But believe it or not, having a Haguramon that's just like chilling there without sources and turning it into a Gardra and then turning said Gardra into like Mega, an Andro, or a Metal Tyra is actually hilariously strong because this inheritable effect to unattack discard a Digimon with Cyborg and draw a card, draw 2 cards is just crazy. Plus he's a blocker, which is super cool. So I want to play at least 1 more copy of this in the deck. Really useful. Haguramon has the same effect as his inheritable, but it's on play instead of on attack. And then Ultimate Connection is like the Hammer Spark of the deck. You can play it, go to 0, discard one of these boys. It has to be a level 5 Cyborg, by the way. You gain 2 and you draw a card. So it's extra cycle. Since cards like Machinedramon and Chaosdramon can add from our hand or our trash, it's always better just to throw our level 5s in the trash so that way we can cycle through our deck and actually dig for more pieces without actually sacrificing advantage. There are tons of times, though, where you want like a specific inheritable or something and it's in your hand instead of in the trash, so you will commit from hand. It's not the biggest neg in the world because honestly, with how many turns can pass throughout this game and how much draw power you actually have, you'd be surprised how big your hand size is. And then finally, again, just to add to the overall gas that is this deck, we have 4 copies of Analog Youth. I have seen some people that play Machinedramon actually choose to play memory tamers like Red Tie or Black Tie that can like set you to 3 every turn, because the one thing that sucks about this deck is constantly being choked and not being able to actually go into Machinedramon because you can't go from 2 memory to 10. You can't really play this card if you're only at 1 memory. So there is an argument to maybe playing less copies of Analog Youth and then more copies of Memory Tamers, but man, oh man, is Analog Youth just a crazy card in this deck. I cannot tell you how many times I milled like 2 different names and then like a Machinedramon, add the Machinedra, mill these 2, so much value. I really like the consistency this offers. And fun fact, Chaosdramon doesn't have destruction protection. So if you are fighting against like Gaia Force or something and they just kill your Chaosdramon, gaining that extra memory off of Analog Youth does come up, and it's pretty valuable. So maybe there's room for playing things like memory blockers memory tamers to help you play around memory blockers. But thanks to the inclusion of cards like Megadramon or Chaosdramon that can just kill those cards, I don't feel the need to play anything more than what we're already playing to counter those cards. That's it for the overall Machine/Black and Red package. Let's talk about the Blue package that enables all the Mega Zoo shenanigans that this deck has. Firstly, we have 4 copies of Demi-Veemon and 4 copies of Veemon. These 2 cards just say you can play Blue Tamers and you can draw a card every turn until this dies. And being jamming, attacking security with a rookie is pretty free. Obviously, you don't want to be too aggressive sometimes against hybrid decks, giving up tamers and whatnot. But if all you need is 1 extra dig through your deck for like the next piece of your combo, it's pretty worth it. Plus, it's a way for you to actually play Kaiser Nail, which enables all those crazy abuses of Machinedramon that can lead to more abuses of Chaosdramon, more abuses of Defeat, X Antibody, Alter S, etc. This is what enables this deck to sort of be like a Black Mega Zoo toolbox deck rather than just a Machinedramon deck. And then finally, the last card, I figured having 1 piece of removal that wasn't Digimon reliant was going to be important, so we have 1 copy of Kakaida's Breath. This card sucked. Every time I was forced to play it during my turn, I lost anyway. So I'd rather just play a 2nd copy of Guardramon or maybe a copy of Ice Wall instead. But yeah, guys, that does it for the Machinedramon deck that I used to go X1 today. I could have gone undefeated, but I lost to Cherubimon. Sadly, that deck can just get enough aggression against you sometimes, despite your blockers. But I do think overall it's a good matchup if you can set up a quick Machinedramon and lead it into like an Omnimon Zord defeat, into like an X antibody, etc. If you ever want to have a new deck that you want to take to locals that you think is super cool and can really surprise people, this deck is definitely the one that I'd recommend. But that's it for the profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't forget to follow us over on Twitch, so if I ever use another deck like this again, you can watch me use it live and in person. As always, I've been your true champion, Steven. Please be sure to work hard, rest easy, live well, stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.